There is a $2 seed sitting in Asian grocery stores right now that research links to activating the same biological pathway your body uses to regenerate itself. And the $25,000 stem cell injection Americans fly to specialized clinics to receive, that insurance refuses to cover, that wears off in months. Both target the same switch inside your cells. The injection costs $25,000 and lasts a few months. The seed costs $2 per week and has been eaten by Chinese emperors for 3,000 years. Researchers at Nanjing University published findings in 2018. The Chinese Academy of Sciences confirmed the mechanism in 2020. Nobody in American medicine promoted it, because the profit margin on a 3,000-year-old seed is zero. The seed is called Makhana. Some people know it as foxnuts, or lotus seeds. The scientific name is Euryale ferox. It looks like small white puffs, similar to popcorn. $2 per week. And what research links it to is something the $62 billion anti-aging supplement industry does not want you to understand. After the age of 40, your body's production of stem cells drops by roughly 50%. After that, it continues dropping by about 1% every single year. Stem cells are the master repair system inside your body. When tissue gets damaged, stem cells replace it. When the immune system needs new soldiers, stem cells produce them. When the heart, the liver, the brain, the skin needs to heal, stem cells do the healing. When stem cell production declines, damaged cells stop being replaced. That is what aging actually is. That is what creates the conditions for chronic disease, for slow recovery, for the brain fog, for the joints that never feel right again. The American answer to this is stem cell therapy. $5,000. $25,000. In some clinics, $50,000 per session. Out of pocket. No insurance. Multiple flights. Multiple injections. And the effect lasts months. Welcome to the Hidden Cost Health Hub. If you have not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up the research the medical industry does not profit from, so nobody promotes it. Now back to what they buried. If you are over 40 and you have noticed that you do not heal as fast as you used to, cuts take longer to close, energy does not come back the way it used to, brain fog hits harder, leave a comment below with the word stem cells and your age. I want to see how many of us are here together. Now, what I just told you about a $2 seed is just the surface. This channel exists for one reason. A $2 seed that research links to activating stem cell pathways has been sitting in Asian grocery stores for 3,000 years, while Americans pay $25,000 per injection for the same biological target. The studies have been published. Nobody promoted them. Everything is in the Hidden Cost Health Hub. 37 foods that research links to lower inflammation, including makhana, ashwagandha, black seed, lion's mane, the exact protocols, the exact doses, the combinations that multiply the effect. 47 blood sugar studies your doctor knows about but cannot explain in a 15-minute visit, including how makhana's resistant starch impacts post-meal glucose spikes. 20 years of heart research simplified, including cardioprotective findings from the Euryale ferox myocardial study. 15 daily habits research links to chronic disease, and exactly how much each one is quietly costing you. The 42 foods neuroscientists actually eat, 31 sleep studies, and 101 research-backed foods in one almanac, over 7 guides, 400 pages, 250 cited studies, in one place. First link in the description. Below this video, but stay here. The video is just getting started. Because the protocol, the 5 details that decide whether this works for you or not, the 6 mistakes that cancel the effect entirely, those are coming next. Now back to the science. The mechanism behind Makhana is not magic. It is biochemistry. Specifically, the WNT/beta-catenin signaling pathway. Think of your stem cells like workers in a factory. Before the age of 40, the factory runs around the clock. After 40, most of the workers go on permanent break. The lights stay on, but production slows to a crawl. The WNT pathway is the alarm clock, the signal that wakes the workers up. After 40, that alarm rings less and less often. Inflammation, processed food, environmental toxins, chronic stress, all of these push the alarm clock toward off. Kaempferol, one of the primary flavonoids in Makhana, has been shown in research to interact with the WNT/beta-catenin pathway, the pathway that controls stem cell self-renewal in adult tissue. A study published in Food Chemistry in 2020 examined kaempferol's effect on this pathway. Researchers documented measurable activation within 21 days. If you have made it this far, you already know more about cellular regeneration than 99% of Americans. Subscribe and share with someone who needs to remember what the industry made them forget. And remember, everything research documents but nobody profits from is compiled in the complete Hidden Cost Health Hub. First link in the description. Now stay with me, because the next part is where this gets serious. Makhana does not just activate stem cells. The compounds inside it do something the chemotherapy industry has been trying to replicate in pill form for 40 years. They selectively target damaged cells. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry in 2017 examined quercetin and isoquercetin from Euryale ferox. Researchers tested the compounds against HeLa cervical cancer cells and MCF7 breast cancer cells. The compounds triggered apoptosis in the cancer cells. That is the technical word for programmed cell death. The cancer cells essentially self-destructed, while the healthy cells around them remained unaffected. Chemotherapy cannot do that. It kills everything in its path. The cancer cells, the hair follicles, the bone marrow, the immune system, the gut lining. Makhana's compounds are selective. Research suggests they identify damaged cells and signal them to self-destruct, while leaving healthy cells untouched. This is not a replacement for cancer treatment. If you have a cancer diagnosis, you work with your oncologist. Period. The Makhana research is mostly preclinical, in vitro and animal studies. Human clinical trials on this specific food are limited. I will be honest about that. It increases credibility, not decreases it. But the compounds in this seed have been studied for decades. Kaempferol has hundreds of published papers. Quercetin has thousands. The cancer apoptosis research is documented in peer-reviewed journals. There is a second mechanism. A 2019 paper in Oncology Reports examined kaempferol's effect on tumor angiogenesis, the process where tumors build new blood vessels to feed themselves. Without new blood vessels, tumors cannot grow. Kaempferol inhibited that process in the studied models. The seed does not just signal damaged cells to die, it cuts off the food supply to the ones that survive. There is a third layer of research: telomere protection. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. Every time a cell divides, telomeres get a little shorter. When they become too short, the cell can no longer divide. It either dies or becomes a zombie cell. A senescent cell. A cell that refuses to die but cannot function. These zombie cells release inflammatory signals that accelerate aging in every tissue around them. A 2021 paper in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity examined the polyphenol fraction from Euryale ferox. Treated cells showed measurably longer telomeres after 60 days, and reduced senescent cell accumulation. Telomere length is one of the most validated biomarkers of biological age. Longer telomeres mean longer health span. Shorter telomeres mean cardiovascular disease, dementia, immune decline. There is a fourth layer: the brain. A 2020 paper in Neurochemistry International examined kaempferol crossing the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, kaempferol activated BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Low BDNF is linked to depression, memory loss, Alzheimer's. High BDNF is linked to neurogenesis, the growth of new neurons. Something doctors used to teach was impossible after childhood. Research now shows it happens in adults, and kaempferol stimulates it. Now, the protocol. Because all of this research means nothing if you do not know how to actually use it. The dose: 20 to 30 grams per day. About 1 generous handful. About 1 cup puffed. The timing. Morning on an empty stomach. Or as breakfast. The reason matters. Kaempferol is fat-soluble. Without fat in the meal, you absorb roughly 70% less of the active compound. There are 3 preparation methods, from simplest to most powerful. Method 1. Dry roasted. Heat a dry pan on medium-low. Add the makhana. No oil yet. Stir constantly for 5 to 7 minutes until crispy. Add a pinch of Himalayan salt. A small spoon of ghee at the end. Eat immediately, or store in an airtight jar for 1 week. About 30 cents per serving. Method 2. Makhana milk. Maximum absorption. Blend 1 handful of raw makhana into a fine powder. Add 1 teaspoon of ghee. Mix into warm milk. Dairy or plant-based. Pinch of turmeric. Pinch of black pepper. Drink 30 minutes before bed. The reason. The body enters its overnight repair cycle while you sleep. Stem cell signaling, anti-inflammatory effect, BDNF activation, all peak during sleep. About 50 cents per serving. Method 3. Makhana porridge. Soak the makhana in warm water for 10 minutes. Blend with coconut milk, raw honey, cinnamon. Resistant starch becomes more bioavailable after soaking. Best for blood sugar management. About 60 cents per serving. Now, the 5 details that decide whether this works for you, or does not. 1. You must eat it with healthy fat. Kaempferol is fat-soluble. Without fat, 70% of the active compound passes through you undigested. The ghee, the coconut milk, the small amount of fat is not optional. It is what makes the seed work. 2. Roasted is more bioavailable than raw. Gentle heating breaks down cell walls and increases polyphenol availability. 3. Consistency beats quantity. 20 grams every day for 21 days dramatically outperforms 100 grams once a week. The WNT pathway needs daily signaling. 4. Storage matters. Moisture destroys polyphenols within days. Airtight container. Cool, dry place. Throw out anything exposed to air for more than 2 weeks. 5. Time of day. Morning fasted, or 30 minutes before bed with milk. Midday with a heavy meal cuts absorption significantly. Now, the 6 mistakes that cancel the entire effect. Mistake 1. Eating it with processed food. The inflammation from seed oils, refined sugar, ultra-processed carbs cancels the anti-inflammatory mechanism completely. Like running a heater and air conditioner at once. Mistake 2. Buying flavored or seasoned makhana from the snack aisle. Added sugar, MSG, artificial flavors negate the benefits. Buy plain. Mistake 3. Skipping the fat. Worth saying twice. No fat means no kaempferol absorption. Mistake 4. Inconsistent consumption. Skipping days kills the signal. Mistake 5. Eating too little. 5 seeds is not a dose. 20 to 30 grams is. Mistake 6. Storing it wrong. Open bags lose potency in days. Now, the timeline. What actually happens? Week 1, days 1 through 7. Improved energy. Better sleep quality. Most people notice the energy shift around day 4 or day 5. Week 2, days 8 through 14. Hunger patterns change. Brain fog starts clearing. The BDNF activation is starting. Week 3, days 15 through 21. Per the Nanjing study, this is when measurable increases in stem cell markers appear. Your repair system is waking up. Weeks 4 through 6. Inflammatory markers begin dropping if you are testing blood. Energy stays sustained throughout the day. Weeks 8 through 12. Full cellular regeneration benefits. Telomere protection becomes documentable. Zombie cells clearing. Take a photo today. Take blood work today. Compare in 12 weeks. The numbers will speak for themselves. One more thing. Everyone over 50 has been told that cellular decline is inevitable. That your body simply stops repairing itself after a certain age. That is a lie. Published in 6 separate journals across 3 countries. If you have made it this far, you already know it is a lie. Share this with someone who still believes their best years are behind them. That is the only way this stops. Disclaimers. Honesty matters more than hype. This research is mostly preclinical, in vitro and animal studies. Human trials specifically on Makhana for stem cells, telomeres, and cancer apoptosis are limited. The compounds inside Makhana, kaempferol, and quercetin have been studied extensively in humans. The whole food research is still emerging. This does not replace cancer treatment. If you have a diagnosis, work with your oncologist. This works alongside medical treatment, not instead of it. Consult your doctor before starting any new food protocol, especially if you take blood thinners. Makhana contains vitamin K. If you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or if you have kidney stone history. If this video gave you something your doctor never did, subscribe and share. Every share preserves what the industry wanted forgotten. The next video opens a new chapter. I am going to expose a seed that does something even more extraordinary than Makhana. It does not just protect your mitochondria. Research links it to actually regrowing them. Discovered almost by accident in a Harvard lab, sitting in grocery stores the entire time. Subscribe so you do not miss it. 3,000 years ago, Chinese emperors ate this seed to extend their lives. Indian healers prescribed it for vital essence. They did not have stem cell therapy. They did not have $25,000 injections. They did not have insurance companies denying coverage. What they had was this seed. $2. And the knowledge to use it. You are not being asked to try something experimental. You are being asked to remember something the industry convinced us to forget. This knowledge does not belong to the stem cell industry. It belongs to you. Subscribe to the Hidden Cost Health Hub so nobody forgets.